Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a great day so far. Oh gosh, of course the light outside won't stay constant, but anyway. I hope you all had a great weekend and Labor Day weekend. Yeah, mine was pretty good. It actually was pretty busy, so I almost feel like it was less of a weekend than normal, but I mean, I guess you can't complain too much about that. Actually, it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, so I'm trying to kind of get a lot of work done so that I can spend some time with him. So, and I guess in order to do that, I probably won't have a very long stream today, but I hope that we'll at least get some work done on this mod communication on the server. So let me try and see where we were. Yeah, I know we were working on this. Okay, so we need to receive data notifications. Okay, and then images, and then, oh yeah, and then extra data, which we only send over when somebody clicks on the more info button. But it turns out this stuff is just more text, so I don't know if we need to keep it separate or not. I don't know. Okay, so let me see. Oh yeah, it's hard to test it right now because I don't really send mod messages to myself. But I know that well, let's actually look. Let me reload just so that we can clear out some of the unneeded events in here. So I'll just clear that. Okay. So yeah, the UX is updating to the input phase. At some point I should have, oh yeah, so mod list basic update I sent. And the server. Oh, okay, so I guess the server did receive it, but it doesn't actually do anything. Let's look at that code. Okay, yeah, this is on the server. So it got this message. Okay, and actually, yeah, it just called the send to all except the user. And since I'm actually the only person in here, it doesn't send it to anyone. Okay, so we need to do a couple of things. Okay, so I need to receive lists from other players and also send my list when a new player connects. So we need to do both of those things. I think we already send it when we reload mods. Oh yeah, so send mod basic data right here. Okay, so let's I guess we should do the receiver first, although well, we kind of need to have both of these up and running before I can test. It doesn't really matter which one I do first. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So I'll just do the receiving basic info. So let me see. Low mod, basic data, message, receiver. Okay, and for these classes, I usually use not iLogic, it's just low logic container. Okay, and then this is a superclass that just lets us use the event system. So we're gonna get a message back from the server, and I think it's, let's see, basic message. Yeah, so it's this basic notify message because that's the one that contains the username that actually has these mods. And what I want to do is up here we have this message listener, which just basically listens to a whole bunch of different messages from the server, and when it receives one, it just adds it to this message queue, which is a lot like our event queue, except messages will stay on the message queue until they're retrieved, whereas events get cleared at the beginning of every frame. Let me see, the lobby mod data. Alright, let's do this. Basic mod data notify application received. That's really long, but I really don't like. Yeah, it's kind of confusing because this message is like what's received from the network, but then I also have this, it's the same name as this event-like container, so I'm not sure. I've always wanted to try and change these, but, or the naming scheme. Okay, it's not giving me the name here. Oh, mod list basic message, so yeah. Also, is chat working? Because I'm noticing that the music bot is not updating, so. Okay, well that's strange. I can still hear the music, but it looks like the little music program might have frozen. Let me just reboot that. Okay. That's strange. Well, something's wrong with the. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, I guess I fixed it. Okay. So anyway, we have that message class up there, and now we just need to register a handler for the. Okay, again we use message, but it's kind of like the channel that will receive these packets from the server. And if we didn't register this, then we'd actually get an error when we received a message on this channel. So you want to make sure that there's something listening to this at all times, which is why I have this separate class that handles that, because this is created when the game is set up instead of it being just when the scene is ready, for example. Okay, so then we get that, and oops, that's not correct. We actually want this class. We create a new of that, and then we insert that in there. I think that's all set up. Yeah, I kind of wish this whole system could be a little cleaner. Maybe at some point we'll come and think of a better naming scheme for this, but I just want to get on with this mod project. Okay, so what do we need here? We need... Actually, I should look at another class that receives a message. I think this receives it too. So it's a sender. Okay, so really I just need to subscribe to a message listener. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and generate... I don't want all that, I just want... I wanted to create the constructor, I clicked the wrong thing there. Okay, and then we'll also need to get the message queue from here. Okay, and then the actual thing we want is the lobby. This networking lobby. There we go. And the callback, I guess, will be on received. Actually, we don't need this tick message. Okay, let's say, oh, I guess I should do M for message because it's not an event. Okay, so what other classes do I need here? I guess I need the network mod registry, which is where we actually store all this. And maybe we might need the client info, but actually, yeah, we will, because we'll want to check to see if a client actually exists. But I don't remember if that's the right class. Okay, yeah, client info. And then will I need to also have the local connection to make sure we don't store our own mods? Maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of just do a little hack here. I don't have to type all this out. Okay, so when we receive something, trying to think, do we also need like the phase, because we'd only care about this if we're in a certain phase of the game. I don't think so. Let's see. If username validator, oh, that's not right. We want the, what's it called? It's the class that checks if two usernames are equal. Oh, username compare, I guess. It's kind of obvious. So I want to see if the local connection username, which is the username of this specific client, is the same as the username that's received here. If it is, then I guess we wouldn't do anything. So we actually want to check to make sure that's false. And then also, maybe we'd only want to send this information out when we've oh wait, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I think we'd only want to deal with this message if it's for a client that's currently connected, because I guess this could be received for a client that hasn't been or that just disconnected, and if that's the case, we don't really need to store it. Oh, yeah, from username. I should just get the username out of here so I don't have to keep using the dot operator quite as much. Makes it easier to read. Okay. So we've got that done, and now we just need to kind of copy. Oh yeah, we're missing a closing brace here, aren't we? Oh no, somehow somehow this got scrolled over. Okay, I think I'll put this in a separate function. So we want to have, I don't know, store data. Username, and then whatever the other class is in here. This mod basic data. Oh, it is actually a list of mods. Okay. So I'll put in at the beginning just to show this as the network mods. Although that's a little bit confusing, isn't it? Okay, I'll R for received. Okay, so if we pass these two tests, we can go ahead and store the data and just pass in the username and the message mod list. Okay, and then here, if our mods is null, then something's gone wrong. We just will return. Okay, so at this point, we need to clear out what's already in the registry and then set up our own. So I guess first we'll need to get the client that matches the username. I think I'll make another helper function for that. Actually, that might be something nice to kind of just have in the mod registry itself. It's a little helper function since it doesn't really impact anything. So actually, we'd go right here. So public void get or create actually I want this class, so mod client is null, and then we'll just loop through. Actually I'm gonna rename this, so this will be found. If client dot, or I gotta use the username comparer actually. Equal username and client dot username. Then we'll just set found to client and break. Okay, and then down here we can check that if found is equal to null, then we'll just create a new one. Found equals new, and clients add found. Oh, I guess I should set the username. Okay, I don't really know. Okay, I made this arrays because obviously this won't change because we just grab the data from the network message, which is also an array. But I think Might be easier to actually have this as a list, because otherwise I'm going to have to allocate this array every time. Not that it really matters. I don't know. Doesn't really make much difference, I don't think. Okay, so anyway, now that that's happened, we can just return that. Oh. Okay, so we'll just get the network mod client. Equals mods dot get or create for this username. Oops. Okay, so for here we can just set the array, because we'd want to erase what's previously in there, so it's fine to do this. Yeah, this will be a new, and the size is what's passed through, or is the size of this array. Okay, so now we need to go through each one and copy all the data over. Okay, so I guess stored data equals new. I forget what it's network. Okay, I think this is actually it, but oh no, no, that works fine. Okay, for some reason I was thinking there would be a clash between these two names, but they're the same thing. So, and then mod client, I'll just go ahead and stash it right there. Okay, and so stored data dot unique ID. I guess first we gotta get the object out of the network. So past data. Okay. Now it's just the fun part of basically doing this over for every single value. I don't think I need to do any like validation here really, because if there's any problems, it'll be caught later. We don't actually use this data except to check. Well, I guess the stored or this numeric version is used to see that, make sure that everyone has the same version of the mod, but okay, what else? I guess the mod type is passed. Oh, except the mod type here, yeah, they're actually different enumerations. Maybe this network mod type should use the pass data from the network message instead of the mod type from the local mods. Okay, let's see. Networking. I think that makes more sense because the local mod type has a few other possibilities, like a load error, which will never even be passed through here, so. Okay. Okay, so we don't really handle the type or the icon yet, or this extra data, so I really just need to pass through the maps and AI scripts. I wonder... Now that I think about it, I'm not sure if this stuff will even be needed. Because... No, that's a good point, because... Well... I think actually... Because I was going to say that the only person that needs to know the AI scripts and maps is really the host. But somehow... the other players are going to have to know that data too. But I guess if it was something that was like in a mod that I didn't have. Before I do this, let's actually... I don't think the AI scripts right now look at the network mods at all, if I remember correctly. No, is this the actual mods? Okay, or I wasn't sure if it was the sorted mod list. Yeah, so it only loads options from the local mods. Okay, so I guess if the host selected some script for a mod that you didn't have, it would just show up as unloaded, even if it was passed. So I guess the question is, do I want to try and fix that? Either way, in order to do that, you'd have to go download the mod yourself, so I don't really know if it matters much. Okay, well for now, let's actually not do it. Just because that'll make things a little simpler, and I don't know, whenever we go do a UI polish, if we want to go fix that, we can. I don't know. It would be kind of nice that if the user, or if they selected a script that you didn't have, that it would say the actual display name here instead of just the unique ID. But I don't know. I guess it just really depends on how much data we want to send over the network. But it's not like needed, so yeah, let's just get rid of it for now. Okay, so anyway, okay, so I'll just... Okay, so what else is really needed here? I guess... Yeah, this stuff might actually just need to go in the extra data. Because it would maybe show up in the dialogue, but... That's probably something that we should add to the dialogue for everything, is like what AI scripts come from this mod and what maps, but... Okay, so anyway, we'll definitely need this unique ID, and we'll need the mod type, because we'll have to know if it's a framework or a content mod to know where to place it in the list. But actually, are network mods ever placed in the list? I think I might be sending more than we actually need. We got the sorted database. Where's the class that actually sorts them? Okay, here. Oh no, that just creates it. Oh, here, database builder. Okay, so if we're not the host, then we show Let me see. So if we're not the host, we find the host username and then find the client that equals the host. Okay, so yeah, we're just trying to find the host mod client. Then we add there. Then if we are the host or it's this error, then we actually add every mod that we have available. Okay, yeah, so if we're not the host, then we only show mods that are selected, which makes sense. Okay, so first of all, if we're adding a mod from the lobby parameters, we look through our list, our local mods, and if it exists, we just use that. Okay, otherwise, we look through the host mods. Okay, and there we actually use the display name and stuff. And shouldn't it show the version too, actually? Yeah, data dot display version equals mod dot. Okay, I don't have the numeric version because that's not used in the UI. Okay, is that correct? Yeah, so display name, display version. Okay, I just forgot to add that. And we actually don't have the icon at this point. Okay, I guess maybe should I do something else like that if the display version doesn't exist? We just use the numeric version. Oh, I need to actually check it up here when we have the mod. Then I could just do this null coalescing. Oh no, because I have to check string or empty, so. Okay, that's fine. So we kind of went off on a tangent. So I guess we do need this display. We need the version information and the display name. And well, I've already gone through the trouble to like add in the map and stuff. I just don't know. Let me see. So what would we do if we wanted to add in something to actually look through the network mods to try and find the actual name of this mod? I guess it wouldn't really be that difficult. Do we have... So if I did that, I need to get the loaded mod registry. And then I also need to find the hosts. Okay, well, maybe we can do that at some point, but... Oh, it's gotten dark again. Well, okay, let's... Like I've said, I keep going back and forth on this. Let's just try and get the UI working, and I guess I'll cut out non-needed things for now. Okay, so I already commented that out. And it'll be easy to add this back in. In fact, I won't delete it. So yeah, this will just be commented. because we don't actually need it right now. Okay, and then I guess one other thing. Let's just move this into... I guess I'll just comment this out completely for now. In fact, we don't even handle this extra data, so yeah. Or the sprite. But we will need to add the sprite, so. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to add this stuff to the extra data now that I think about it, because I think that at the very least, this information should show up in the dialog box. Okay, but I kind of do want to have it a nice way in that drop down. Let's see, get map and AI script. Oh, let's see. Use map name in AI script if not a local mod. What do I want to see this? From the host. Wait, I'm confusing this. Okay. Script drop down. And then we'll do the same thing for the map. I'll just put this as a little to-do thing and we can come back and do it at some point. Probably, yeah, we'll need to do it before extra data because we need to kind of decide on whether this will be included in the extra data or not. I guess add map and AI scripts to mod info dialog. It's kind of, it's actually outside of here, but just so that I see this before we actually get to that. Oops. Didn't mean to click on the list. It's gotten darker again. Storms are going to be on and off all week. It's kind of crazy. Okay. So yeah, now I went on that huge tangent. Okay, so the sender I fixed up. And the receiver... Okay, so I guess we're done here. That's really all I have to do. So I created the data and added it. And we got rid of extra stuff we don't need. Let's just see if there's any complaints. Oh no, that looks like it's fine. So I guess I just need to initialize this class in the lobby container. And it's not a UI class, so it doesn't need to go in the scene helper. Okay, and it can go normal, I think. Now when we do receive this, do I need to throw any events? Probably. It should be different than the local mod event though. So I have the loaded mod data change. So I guess I just need to have a network mod data change as well. Let's see. Let's clean this up a bit. Okay, so... Oh, no, that's not a problem. I was going to say that when we receive messages from Unity networking, You have to be careful when I'm integrating it into the rest of the event system, because the event system, I guess, requires the code to run all during the game's tick method. And Unity, we don't know exactly when Unity will send these notifications to us, but actually that's not an issue, because that's pretty much the whole reason why I added this message queue, was to take care of that. Because the Unity messages are just added to the queue, and then we just check it during our tick. So, in other words, there's not really any issue. But I need to add... well, not add to the tickables. I need to... we shouldn't do it on the store data. I should do it up here. So events, and again, since we're changing game data, I need to do a queue immediate. Network mod data change. And since I'm going to queue immediate, I have to make sure that anything that might care about that runs after this is ticking priority. So maybe this needs to have a different ticking priority. I guess I could just put it in the mod loader. Because these two classes are pretty much separate, but anything that might want to know about the local mods will also want to know about network mods, so that seems like the best bet to me. Okay, so now there's some complaints. Oh, it's just the dialogue manager. Yeah, I got a little bit ahead of myself here. So really we don't have anything about the description or the author or the download link, so I'm pretty much just gonna do that. Because we're gonna change the way all that works at some point. Okay, so now it loaded fine, and yeah, there's some warnings we'll need to take care of. Oh, that's interesting. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so actually we won't see anything different because, again, I don't have a separate client. Yeah, so far everything works how it used to. I guess I can look. Do I even have the network mod data in here for me to check? Oh, I do have the net mods, okay. But yeah, there's no clients, obviously. Okay, so I guess we'll need to build a second client. So this will be interesting because I think this is the first time we've done this in the lobby. Oh, well, no, we did it some when we did the player slots. So this will take probably a bit to build, but hopefully it won't take too long. In this way we'll be able to check to see the messages sent back and forth. Although, okay, I am actually missing one thing. I forgot the second part. So we handle receiving basic data, but I don't send my list when a new player connects, so I kind of need to do that. I already have this client update watcher, which checks to see when new clients become active. So really all I have to do is if a new client joins, I would just want to queue immediately. Well, that was nice, but I don't actually need it anymore. I'm gonna have to rebuild it, so I'll just delete all that stuff. Yeah, Q immediate command to send the network mods. So let me see here. Yeah, send mod basic data command. But only if there's a newly connected client. So how would I find that out? Or I could just kind of be redundant and send this even if someone leaves, but okay, so it just returns. If it never finds a slot, it just kicks that client, so I wouldn't need to do anything there. Actually, does this refresh clients remove clients if they disconnect? That might be a kind of big deal. Although no, it doesn't do that on purpose because if a client disconnects, their information should just stay in the system in case they reconnect. Yeah, so that is by design. So actually this change really is just for a new client. Let me see. Let me just walk through this to make sure. So first it tries to find a lobby slot for this client. Well actually it's slightly different, but so if it finds an assigned slot, which basically means there's an open slot and username is equal. Okay. And by open slot just means a player slot that's not a guest or a spectator. And then if it's open and the username is equal, then it returns that slot. Okay, so if it's negative, then we need to try and assign to some slot that doesn't have a reservation. So again, it just looks for an open slot and then tries to see if the username is empty. So it's kind of the opposite of that. So what we want to do is send this event if there's an... So yeah, if this is true or this slot was true. So I think I just need to have two different variables here. So let's rename this to lobby slots change. And then I'll have another one that's just new connection. So the new connection would be actually, I don't think I can do this. Let me see. So it'd be easy if I just sent this event out every time. But then if someone disconnects, we'd also resend the mod information, which is kind of waste of network bandwidth. Oh, really? So this... Oh, I was gonna say, is this only called when there's a new client? Or what? I think I might have, like... What happens if somebody... Oh, no, it just clears it and then adds it all again. Okay, so how could I check to see if this is like a new connection? Could have a tag on here that's like connection frame. But then I need to also store that from this old information. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess this isn't as easy of an issue as I thought. So maybe... Because we want to send this whenever someone that used to be disconnected disconnects. Okay, so I guess we'll just kind of do this the dumb way because I keep making detours. And what's this called? Client update watcher. Here. Maybe make the code smart enough to only send the command to re-upload mod data if a client if there is a new connection, not on disconnects. Okay, so yeah, so for now we're just gonna always fire this event, but it's not the best because we don't really have to do a queue immediate. Actually, we can just do a queue because what's gonna happen is even if somebody disconnects, we're gonna send this mod data out, and it's kind of not needed, but it's not really a huge deal. So at some point we can try and fix that if we really want. I think it would be useful to know when there's a new connection, so it might be a good idea to just have that data around for later. Maybe, actually, I don't really know if it'd be needed for anything else, but so yeah, I guess that's done. Tentatively done. I'll just play the game to make sure nothing crashes and burns before we rebuild the client. Okay, so yeah, no errors. Okay, well this is just a normal queue, so I don't have to make sure that the ticking priority makes sense. But what is it anyway? This client update watcher is in the client client updater. So it actually does run before, so I could do a queue immediate, which would get that message out a little earlier, so I guess I might as well. So it finished compiling, and we'll just create this build. Okay, that wasn't too slow. So I'll just go ahead and start that up. All right. Okay, it's taking a while for this to start up. There we go. Okay, so I'll leave this in here for a while, and I'm gonna clear all that so we can see what happens when this joins. Okay, I need to change this username, or it's going to complain. Okay, so it did put me in the player slots. Okay, we have no mods, which is fine. And let's see. So we server set the validation out and then set the client info. Client info change. Client update watcher, and then it sent the parameters and mod basic data. So mod list basic update got sent. And we also received the mod list from the client, I guess, is what this was. So if we click this, it should show up there. And it does. Although, shouldn't this be red because we don't have it local, do we? Or maybe we do, I don't know. Well, actually we do because it's in the streaming assets, so it was copied over. Yeah, so this is actually a local mod. And then click that. Yeah, that shows up too. So I can select this, but actually, yeah, this needs to be I shouldn't be able to select this because I'm not the host, so I should add something. Disable drop down if we're not the host. Guess we'll do that in a second. It's a simple fix. So far so good. What do I need to check? I guess I was just checking to see if I actually got the network data from the other game, so we can check that here. The loaded mods and the network mods. So yeah, we have the test client and their mods. Test content. Okay, so we did have that. Okay, so I'm just going to clear this, and if I click the reload mods button, we should get a message from the server. Yeah, so the server sent this message to us. So yeah, because 0 is our client ID. And then we received that, and then we fired immediately the network mod data change, and we can see that this updated with the same data. Okay, so that was actually pretty painless. And I guess this stuff should be grayed out too if we're not the host, because we shouldn't be able to change this. Alright, so let's go update that, both of those UI things while I'm thinking about it. So drop down. Okay, drop down interactable equals, we don't have the local connection here. Yeah, when I was doing this, I just completely forgot about the clients, I guess. Okay, so this would be local C is host. And I can do the same thing for the mod checkboxes. Is this it? Name, text, no. Okay, so it's interactable if we can play with that mod, but then also if we're the host. So I need to just add that quick check. Oh, we already have that interactable there. So if can play and local connection is host. Okay, so I guess one thing I should check is what happens if the second player does not have the mods locally. So I guess we'll go ahead and build it again to get that extra, or that code I just added. Well, before I do that, I should make sure that the game runs, because building it does take a little longer than just running it in editor. Okay, no errors, so we're good. I can still do all this stuff as the host. So we'll just wait a second for this to happen. Guess I can check that off. Yeah, it seems to go a lot faster once you've done it once in a session. For some reason, when you come back the next day, it takes way longer to compile. Probably just because it has to recalculate a bunch of cached values, but... Okay, so we'll have this started up. Okay, so once this is all done, I'll clear it. Oh, yeah, we had a copy of a username, so I just need to rename that and then connect. Okay, so first of all, yeah, I can't select the mod there, but if I do that, then it's... Ooh, okay, that's a bug. It's not updated. How come? Okay, well, we'll look at that. Let's see. Client, drop down, not updating. Not sure why that would be. That'll be interesting to try to fix. Well, maybe we'll just switch this. Oh, okay, well, let's not worry about that for now. We're going to test something else. So we have these streaming assets, and I'm just going to delete this mod folder. And then if I reload the mods, did it actually send that information? No. Okay, so the reload mod button doesn't work for clients. Okay. Client button does nothing. Don't know why that would be. Okay, let's just run it again. Oh, let's just start with a fresh lobby. Directory not found. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay, so I guess, yeah, if your mod folder doesn't exist, that shouldn't throw an error. Is that... I want to do this. That's interesting. Okay. Something else to try and figure out. Directory not found. Exception if mod folder doesn't exist. Okay, I'm a little surprised that I didn't catch that already. That wouldn't be here because we don't actually get the mod folder. I don't think it's... Well, maybe we do. No, because we don't actually open any files. It's all in this table of contents loader. Yeah, which I thought we did that right here. We checked to see if this folder exists. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's not what I wanted to test right now, though. So I guess I'll just create a mods folder here. I really just want to test if it had no mods. So there we go. But I'm gonna have to reload it all now. And for some reason, Windows is very slow when creating a folder. Okay, so now it's working. And if I look here, we should have no mods in the network. Yeah, so they have 0. So if I click this, okay, yeah, so it's just showing test framework with the data that I passed, because we don't actually have anything about this. And if I click more info, it actually gives an error, which is a bit surprising. Okay, I shouldn't have closed it, but whatever. It at least does show that we can't load the mod, because this red thing is saying that the version is out of date, because obviously we have no version. So here, whenever we look at the compatibilities, this would also show red saying that all players don't have this mod, so we can't actually play it. What happens? Well, the mod dialogue is a work in progress, so I don't mind too much. But at least this is pretty much working. It shows the framework and the display version, because it doesn't actually have these names. Because obviously it doesn't have the mod data at all, so it's using what we passed. Okay, so let's just try and fix a couple of those bugs. Probably will end the stream shortly after, but this one is a little strange. But the client button, I think I might have just had a brain fart when I wrote that. Let's see. Well, no. We don't actually care if we're not the local host, so we send this anyway. How come it doesn't load? I wanted to see what listens to this, not what calls the constructor. Oh, well, maybe what happened is, since I deleted that folder, it was telling me that the folder didn't exist. Let's see. How can I test that now? So I guess we could just copy the mods back over. Okay, so that's there. Oh. Sometimes Windows decides not to show the spar for me. What am I trying to find? Okay, so there we go. And oh yeah, again, I need to change this to test client just because it has to have a different username. Okay, so again, right now we have the mods, so if I select both those, they should show up as green. And if we reload, okay, so it did actually work that time. We got the data back from. So I think what was happening was it was just that empty folder error, but for some reason it didn't show up in the log. So what happens if I delete these now? I'll kind of wait for that to go away. It takes forever to delete folders, I don't know why. So if I click reload now, these should turn red because these mods don't exist anymore. And also here, this should be empty. Okay, so it did work. I think it was just that error. Well, before I did that, I should have checked. Let's just delete this. I want to get that error again so I can actually see what's going on. We don't need to do a new lobby or anything. Because we can actually join back into our old slot. Okay, cannot find part of the path. Tick container list blah blah. Onload command. Now it's enumerating. Oh, file system. So mod loader onload command at 126. Oh, okay. So here I actually do enumerate the directories, so I really just need to make sure this all mods folder exists. Okay. That's not that hard to do. If directory exists all mods folder. Okay, that was kind of a silly mistake. Okay, I guess let's test it again. It's kind of easier to do this with a second. Well, let me see. I was gonna say it's easier to do it with a second client, but really all I have to do is just name this to something else. And then the mods folder will not exist anymore, so. Oh gosh, look at that font. Okay, no errors there. And again, yeah, we have no mods. So if I rename this to just mods again, they should show up. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I think we fixed that. So I guess the only other thing is, why is this dropdown not updating? Got 5 minutes, so let me see if I can fix that before we end. Where did I write that? Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so we're done with this. Map dropdown manager. So we get the dropdown index from the lobby parameters. So either, well, it could be happening. Yeah, there's nothing in here that's different. Well, let me see. Oh, well, no, we do add the value from the lobby parameters. So it should just grab that option again. Maybe it had something to do with that directory error again, because maybe that just like threw the whole project into disarray. Sometimes that can happen. So let's try to rebuild it and see if that error is still there. If it is, yeah, I don't know what the issue could be. It'd probably be easier to debug if I had this, or the editor be the client, so I can like inspect stuff easier. It's probably a good idea to test that way anyway. Okay, we'll just do it like this for now though. Okay, so if I go down to the map and set that, yeah, it still doesn't update. Okay, so it's not an issue with that error. Okay, so let's reload everything and try it real quick. If it's a quick fix, we can probably update it, but about time to end the stream. Okay, so I'll have this client create the server. And then the editor will be the client. So if yeah, so far so good, there's no errors, that's good to see. I should probably check, okay, so it still works the same. Sometimes just because it works one way doesn't mean it will work the other way. So it's good to test it. Now if I do this, nothing happens. So let's see what is in the lobby parameters. So we still have test content and test map, which is actually passed from here. And so when I change that, it goes back to being null. So obviously something is going on with in the UI class and not the rest of the system, which is good to see. Okay. So something is wrong with this, I guess? Because returning 0. Either that or these options aren't being... Okay, what I'm going to do here is just always set this interactable so I can see what the values are in the list. Okay, let's do it again. I don't need to update or rebuild the client because what I changed won't actually affect any of the logic. Okay, create that. Oops. So if I move down here and set this to test map. Now, okay, it does show, but for some reason it's not selecting that. Yeah, and it should because we have it right there. And nothing actually happens if I select it. Oh, actually... Oh, well that's wrong. It shouldn't actually try to send the parameters, but thankfully it was smart enough not to do anything. Let me see. So... Does it have to do... This map input manager should only send this if we're the host too. Yeah, when I was writing all this, I just completely forgot about that. If we're not the host, we don't ever want to receive this event because we can't actually affect it. And local C is host. Okay, well, I'll just fix that. But still, it's not updating. Trying to figure out the best way to do it. I guess I could just print out every value here. Unless, is there... Oh, the map containing, I check to the mod ID. The map name, I check to the map name. Really don't see... Yeah, the issue is not obvious. Let's see if I can just do this real quick. I guess I'll just put the display name for good measure. Okay, and again, I don't think we need to rebuild the client. It'll be, or the second, our standalone game, it will be fine. Okay, so what did it just put in there? Okay, so nothing, nothing, not set, and then test content, test map, test content, test map. So if I change this to this. Actually, that's still in there. Oh, well. The other option is that I could not. Oh, okay. This was really silly. It's just not. The issue is just that it's not reacting to the lobby change event. So let me see. Lobby. Oh, let's see. Params change event. So all it has to do is when the parameters change, it just needs to refresh again. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, let's try it one more time. There, that was pretty silly. Don't need... I'm just gonna get rid of this now. Because I'm 99% sure that that's what the issue is. Okay, so now that, okay, it does. Yeah, it just wasn't receiving the event. Okay. Alright, so now I just need to set that to be uninteractable again. And I think we're good to go. Okay, so I guess next time we'll probably try to figure out how to send images over the network. Which, I mean, theoretically it shouldn't be that difficult, but I'm not really sure the best way to do it. And then we'll deal with this AI and map stuff and the extra data. And finally, we'll just do mod incompatibilities, which will actually be sort of fun. And then just some bits and bobs and we'll be done with mods, I think. And then we'll just do a couple of settings, which is just like random seed and a turn timer and ready button in the chat. Okay. So we're making progress, but we still got a bit to do. I think the mods is definitely the biggest the biggest thing here, so. And we're definitely chipping away at it. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. Sorry it was a bit of a shorter stream. Just I've been really busy lately. Hopefully things will quiet down a bit. But feel free to follow me here on Twitch if you want to be notified when I go live on Thursday. I also have a Twitter account where I always post there when I go live, so go follow me there. I have a YouTube channel where I upload all videos if you want to see how the game used to look or just catch up on anything you might have missed. it'll be there. And then finally, I have a Discord server. I try to stay on it most of the day, so if you'd like to chat with me and other viewers, we'd love to have you. But yeah, I'll put links in chat, or you can check out the video description if you're watching from YouTube. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, and also, this actually happened a week or two ago, but I got enough subscribers on my YouTube for a custom channel name, so thanks everybody for subscribing. I really do appreciate that. It makes it so much nicer to be able to just direct people to Ned Makes Games instead of youtube.com/16-digit number or whatever it was. But yeah, so that's be it for me today. And again, thanks everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.